Now, without any further ado, let's proceed. Global capability centers are redefining how enterprises operate at large scale. But combining India's innovation with Germany's precision, these centers are driving transformation in technology, analytics, and also business services across continents. It's time to bring your attention to our next playoff, which is about global capability centers, Advantage, Germany, and India. Take a look at your screens.
The front office was always glamorous, but the real work was never in the room.
The pandemic pulled the thread.
And the back end unraveled.
The world's biggest companies are now moving.
Not their offices, not their brands,
Their minds.
Enter Global Capability Centers.
Quiet engines that do the real heavy lifting.
From compliance to code, from finance to future readiness. The real work is being done.
These are strategic arsenals manned by minds.
not just manpower.
India with its talent tornado.
Germany with its precision playbook.
Together, they don't follow markets.
They make them.
This isn't offshoring.
It's orbit shifting.
The playoff begins.
All right, and for this, I would like to invite the players for the playoff, Mr. Pankaj Vyas, CEO and MD, Siemens Technology and Service, Mr. Ujjwal Jyoti, MD and GCC Sales Lead, Accenture India, Bernd Otto Orman, CEO, MHP India Private Limited, and Stephen E. Buchner Consulting. In fact, my colleague Krishna is going to be referee for this playoff. Krishna, over to you.
Thank you, Sakshi, for that. Requesting all our wonderful players for this playoff to please take the seats. And requesting all of you out there, reconvening after the lunch session for something that's fun, actually. All right, so we have 2 Germans and 2 Indians. And it's a topic that's very important to both the countries. India already hosts more than 50% of the GCCs of the world. India has scale. India has talent. Germany has precision. Germany has depth in R&D and technology. So how can we bring these 2 powers together is what I really wanted to ask you about. Very simple questions. So we begin by asking by Mr. Buchner. Talk to us. You've seen India, you've seen Germany, and India has gone from BPO powerhouse to GCC powerhouse and is moving towards GTC, or Global Technology Centers as well. Tell us, how can India and Germany come together?
I strongly believe it's on. Can you hear me now? So now you can hear me. So
Yes, I can.
I think there is not the question how can we bring the 2 countries together. I think the countries are already together, and they have a very successful history, so to say, in the collaboration. And I think one of the reasons is that both countries are willing to collaborate, to work together. On one hand, we have on the India side, we have the talents, we have the people who are willing to work so, and on the other hand, we have the technology, and we want to share that with the Indian colleagues. And this is a very good collaboration when they work together. What I think is very important, and I strongly believe that these GCC will improve and they will grow in the upcoming years. But I would like to also underline the importance, how important India is for Europe. Because I see big chances for the economy for both countries, and I think this is also a very important topic. And the GCC is the ground layer, so to say, for this future. This is how I see that.
Yeah, it is the ground layer for the future. Very well put, sir. And yes, So many big German companies, including Siemens, have been having their GCCs in India, and not just Siemens, there's so many others. So it's fair that the collaboration has begun. My only curiosity is, where is it headed, Mr. Pankaj Vyas? If you can talk to us and tell us, where is the future? Because there has been, as Mr. Bushner rightly put, already German companies operating big GCCs in India. And the GCCs have evolved in India. This is now GCCs are not just about capabilities, it's about R&D. It's about technologies and everything for the future. So India is going towards that. India is even going towards GTCs, as I was talking about, the global technology centers as well. Germany in tow. Tell us, how do you see the synergies playing out? Because Germany is strong in automotive and engineering and so many things. And India is all about digital and cloud and the massive IT talent, the talent pool that we have.
Absolutely. And I would say GTC is not just global technology center, but I think they're really turning out to be global transformation centers, right? And precisely for a reason that when you look at a lot of these MNCs and the ones who have headquarters and who have a history of more than 100 years, like Siemens is one of those, we really have pretty much every business, every function, some part or other part of this GCCs, right? And it's a great opportunity for GCCs to look at this, not in silos, but see the opportunities to kind of come together and collaborate and drive the transformation that's required. And I'm sure the success story is here to see. I mean, if you look at 150 GCCs, German GCCs I'm talking about, employing close to 150,000 people today as we speak, that's because I don't think there's any place on the planet Earth today that can give you more than 2 million STEM English-speaking graduates every year, right? And they're not just technically good, but they have a great collaborative attitude. They have this culture of learning that's going together. And while we are in MHP and talking about football, I would say to be successful, all you need is endurance, agility, and collaboration, right? And that's a lot. That's a lot in talent back in India.
Fantastically put. Endurance is a great word, and capability. Mr. Horman, I keep referring to you as a German, but then you work in India. You worked in Europe before, setting up GCCs for a decade and a half in Romania, and you're now in Bengaluru, the Silicon Valley of India, the IT capital of India. Tell us, you've seen the evolution of GCCs in Europe and India. Where is India at? Let's talk about 150 German GCCs in India. That's a small number because India currently hosts 1,900 GCCs. There's room for more German GCCs in India, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. So I think we are, again, at kind of a landmark. So after volume, after BPO, after GCC, I think we should talk about value. We should talk about quality. And at the end, I think we have the chance now to transform GCCs into value hubs. That means we should focus on collaboration, we should focus on resilience. Not only India, not only Germany, only together. I think each country has its challenges, but together I think it's now time to build global collaboration and not just focus on cost arbitrage or cost leverage.
All right, strategic collaboration is what we need between GCCs and companies and India. Mr. Ujjwal Jyoti, tell us about that. That's the curiosity over here. 150 German GCCs, some existent for a very, very long time. We're not talking anything new over here. But there's the road ahead cannot be the road that we have just come by. There's lots more, and that's going to change and transform even with the newer German GCCs planning to open operations in India.
No, so I know it's a widely used word, innovation, abused word in a lack of the better word. But truly some of the GCCs are actually becoming the innovation arm or innovation hub to drive scaled transformation. It is no longer about just a cost arbitrage. I mean, we advise a lot of enterprises who are thinking to set up GCCs in India. And the first thing we tell them that if you're actually looking for a cost arbitrage play, please do not come. You won't be able to neither attract talent or retain the talent. It is no longer a cost play. It's value play. It's how can you export more innovation. And I think we are at the cusp of seeing a lot of such GCCs and a lot of such German GCCs who are actually playing that role already, where they are actually exporting innovation. They have an innovation architecture. They contribute in the research and development. They partner very well with the beautiful ecosystem that has evolved in India, be it the startups, be it the regtechs, be it the edtechs, be it the academia, how they collaborate, how they kind of create something which they can export to the parent and can no longer just be an order taker. I think that's where I see some of the, you talked about the GTC, I would call them, it's Global Innovation Center. Can you...
GICs.
GIC, I mean, that's a term we can potentially start to hear in the times to come. Accenture, which the company I represent, I mean, they already had, we are also one of the largest GCC, in lack of a better word, if you see. We have almost 350,000 employees serving global clients. Investing in the future, investing in India, actually has allowed us to remain relevant, remain ahead of the competition in as many words. I mean, some of our top leadership are from India. The biggest investment we made in setting up innovation labs in India. I mean, that's a state of the art where you, not just the geeky and the smart looking gadgets that you see, but the subject matter experts, how we incubate some of these startups, how we harvest business and technology problems, and then, become at the center of creating something which is absolutely valuable to not just the bottom line, but to the top line. That's where I see we are headed towards, and we see more and more GCC following that pattern and becoming the truly advantageous position.
Mr. Buchner, please go ahead.
I think I would like to underline that what he said. This is really a role model in the, so to say, industry, how Accenture runs this business, because the customers are very satisfied how they run this business in different areas. And it's the best example which I have seen so far.
It's an example that German companies can follow.
Yes.
Fantastic. Mr. Horman, in that sense, there is mutual learnings and mutual harvesting of solutions that he's talking about. What do you think are the biggest problem points that India can solve for Germany and Germany can solve for India?
Yeah, at the end, I think it's obvious. I see India as the powerhouse for scale, talents, and speed. Yeah? India has the critical mass to be the accelerator for the digitization. And in Europe, I think it's obvious as well, it's the scarcity of talents. Yeah? So exactly this is the combination. And as well, there's always the discussion about costs. So even if India is not as cheap as some people expect, I think it's you get the value for price, and I think it's very attractive still to invest and to invest in GCCs in India.
Okay, we're also having this conversation at a time when the visa regimes are going through a huge lot. It's in the news every day, pushing more and more US companies to open GCCs in India. In that context, there is going to be that big spurt in growth. We are at the cusp of a big spurt in growth, isn't it, Mr. Vyas?
No, absolutely. But before that, I would just like to add to what was talked here, right?
Please go ahead.
So if you look at Germany, I mean, most of the organizations here, they are really, really good in depth engineering, right? And there's no organization today which is not needing transformation, especially with the speed of technology that's changing today, right? And there's a huge need of infusion of new digital technology in a lot of engineering processes, and that needs speed. And I clearly see that India is a great place to do that, because personally, when from where I look at Siemens technology also, that infusion is happening. There's a whole lot of digital technologies going on there, right? So I really think India has a great role to play. Now, coming to your question, yes, definitely. I think we're just going to see a lot more race for the talent going on, right? And I think that's where India again comes into the play, because the kind of scale that we have, as I said earlier, 2 million STEM graduates coming out every year, and also at the same time, industry working with the academia to keep updating curriculum actively. A lot more technologies playing a role so that traditional learning paths are not followed, but learning is really accelerated with new way of learning. And then government playing a huge supportive role by a lot of policies of upskilling our people, having a lot of digitalization initiatives. I think all that really puts us in a great place to even meet this increasing demands for the talent that we have.
Fantastic. Mr. Buchner, talent, scale, and the other thing is policy making. And India has had a decade of superb policy making. And things have really reached that culmination point where it's only going to take off from here, isn't it? As somebody from Germany looking at India and the stability in policy that India has been having for the last decade must be fantastic for German companies to grow further in India.
Definitely. I think this is a prerequisite in order to have common business in the future. Because when you compared it with China, I think this was one of the reasons that all the companies, foreign companies, had the success in China over the last 20 or 25 years. What I do recognize is then when people, when companies think about to come to India, how stable is the system, how stable is the policy, and once again, as I said in my first statement, I strongly believe, once again, this is an outstanding chance for Europe to collaborate with India in order to see an economic perspective in the future for both sides, especially for us, because the China business at all is struggling. So there is no further growth or big growth in the future. This is my estimation. Maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully there is some growth, but nevertheless, I definitely tell the companies they should focus in order to find opportunities and solutions to work and to have business in India. And as you know, I work very close together with Bharat Forge and with
Mr.
Baba
Baba
Kalyani.
Kalyani, yes.
And this is also a role model for me, how collaboration can be successful, was in the past and as well in the future.
Role model is that. And of course, Accenture is another role model as far as opening GCCs are concerned. Your last, if I were to take a last closing comment from you, your message to German companies and German businesses watching this.
No, so talent at scale, leadership, which was missing in the erstwhile talent, we had never lacked the talent. What is making it all possible to become almost like a reinvention engine? The GCC is becoming the reinvention engine, is also the spurt of a leadership talent that now exists. People who have spine, people who want to make an impact, people who are no longer just an order taker, who wants to create value for the enterprise they represent. I think there is a big amount of talent that exists, along with the engineering and the business operations. Secondly, the big push from the government, under our Honorable Finance Minister, and the Confederation of Indian Industry, there is a policy that is being developed, which is going to cut across all the states. We are framing that policy. We are helping the government to frame that GCC policy that will cut across and ensure that ease of doing business becomes that much more easier. Thirdly, the spurt of all the ecosystem, the startups, the regtechs. Some of the startups are so smart that you got to leverage them in driving scale and agile transformation. I think these three things will continue to play a very, very central role, and I see all the best future for Indo-German relationship, and more multinational company and the German companies come and set up their GCCs, and we'll ensure we'll be their partner in crime to make it a real reinvention engine.
Well, fair enough. On that wonderful note, we wrap things up. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for our wonderful panelists. This is the future that they have just spoken about. Let that future unfold. Thank you, Mr. Vyas. Thank you, Mr. Jyoti. Thank you, Mr. Buchner and Mr. Horman. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much,
Thanks for
Krishna.
having us.
Gentlemen, I'll request you to please kindly be with me here on stage as I request Mr. Hemant Sajnani and Ruven to join me here. Mr. Hemant Sajnani is Chief Technology Officer, TV9 Network, for the Shaw representation now.
Thank you so much for welcome.
Thank you so much.